The village of Okeoma was bustling with excitement. The sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow over the fields and homes. Today was the wedding day of Chisom and Amadi, a day that the entire village had been eagerly anticipating. Chisom was the pride of her family, known for her beauty, kindness, and intelligence. Amadi was a handsome and ambitious young man, the love of Chisom's life. Chisom stood in front of the mirror, admiring her reflection in her wedding gown. The dress was a masterpiece, meticulously crafted by the best seamstress in the village. It was a symbol of her dreams and the love she shared with Amadi. Her best friend Ada stood beside her, helping her with final touches. "Chisom, you look stunning," Ada said, her voice filled with genuine admiration. "Thank you, Ada. I cannot believe this day is finally here," Chisom replied, her eyes sparkling with joy. As Chisom turned to look at her dress more closely, she noticed something that made her heart skip a beat. There, written in red ink on the hem of her gown, was the chilling words, "I will kill you." Chisom's breath caught in her throat. She showed the message to Ada, who gasped in shock. "Who would do such a thing?" Ada whispered, her face pale. "I don't know, but we have to find out," Chisom said, her voice trembling. "We can't let this ruin my wedding day." The two friends quickly informed Chisom's parents and Amadi. The news spread like wildfire, and soon the entire village was abuzz with speculation. Who could have written such a terrible threat, and why? Finally, the wedding was put on hold as the investigation began. Chisom's family and Amadi were determined to find out who was behind the threats. The village elders were called upon to help, and they began questioning everyone who had been involved in the wedding preparations. Elder Okeke, a wise and respected figure in the village, took charge of the investigation. "We must remain calm and thorough," he advised. "Let us start by questioning those who had access to that gown." Amadi paced back and forth, his face etched with worry. Who could have done such a thing? Who would want to harm Chisom like this? Chisom tried to stay strong, but the fear gnawed at her. She couldn't shake the feeling that someone close to her was behind the threat. The handwriting was barely legible, making it very difficult to identify the culprit. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, and the investigation seemed to be going nowhere. The villagers speculated and gossiped, but no one had any concrete answers. Chisom and Amadi's once perfect day had turned into a nightmare. One afternoon, Elder Okeke gathered everyone again who had been involved in the wedding preparations. He questioned the seamstress, the florist, and the cooks. Each denied any involvement, their faces showing genuine shock at the accusation. Okeke sighed. "We must consider all possibilities. We cannot allow fear to paralyze us." As the weeks went by, Chisom began to notice strange behaviors from Ada. Her best friend seemed distant and preoccupied, avoiding eye contact and making excuses to leave whenever the topic of the threat came up. One evening, Chisom decided to confront Ada. "Ada, what's going on? You've been acting very strange ever since the threat happened. Do you know something, or is there something you want to tell me?" Ada's eyes widened and she shook her head vigorously. "No, Chisom, I don't know anything, no. I'm just as scared as you are." Chisom didn't believe her, so she decided to follow Ada that night, hoping to uncover the truth. She trailed Ada to the outskirts of the village, where she saw her meeting with Amadi, her own Amadi. Hidden behind a tree, Chisom overheard their conversation. "We need to be careful, Amadi," Ada said, her voice low. "Chisom is getting very suspicious." "Don't worry, Ada," Amadi replied. "We'll be together very soon. Leave Chisom. Chisom will never know what hit her." Chisom's heart sank as the truth hit her like a bolt of lightning. Her fiancé and her best friend were plotting to kill her. The threat on her wedding gown had been their doing all along. Chisom returned home, her mind racing with anger and betrayal, and of course fear. She couldn't believe that the two people she trusted the most were planning to kill her. She knew she had to act very fast to save herself. The next day, Chisom quickly gathered her family and the village elders. She told them everything she had overheard. The elders were so shocked and immediately called for a village meeting. Amadi and Ada were summoned to the meeting. They tried to deny the allegations and the accusations, but the evidence was overwhelming. The village elders decided to search their houses. In Amadi's house, they found a diary detailing their plan to kill Chisom and run away together. Amadi and Ada were arrested and brought before the village council. The villagers were outraged by their betrayal. The council decided that Amadi and Ada would be banished from the village, never to return. With Amadi and Ada gone, Chisom was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life. The village, of course, rallied around her, offering support and encouragement. Chisom's strength and resilience inspired everyone, and very slowly she began to heal. Months passed, and Chisom found herself growing closer to a kind and gentle man named Obi. He had always admired Chisom from afar, but had never acted on his feelings out of respect for her relationship with Amadi. Now that Amadi was out of the picture, Obi decided to pursue Chisom. One evening, Obi found Chisom by the river bank, lost in thoughts. He approached her cautiously. "Excuse me, Chisom, may I sit with you?" Chisom looked up and smiled. "Of course, Obi. Please, you can sit down." They sat in silence for a while, the sound of the flowing water soothing their troubled minds. Finally, Obi spoke. "Chisom, I've admired you for a very long time. I know this is not the best time, but I cannot hide my feelings any longer. I really like you." Chisom's heart fluttered. She had always liked Obi as well, but she had never considered him more than a friend. Now, in the wake of her heartbreak, she found herself drawn to his kindness and sincerity. "Obi, you have been a very good friend to me, but I don't know if I'm ready. But please know that I do care about you." Obi took her hand in his gently. "I understand, Chisom. I will wait for as long as it takes. Just know that I'm here for you." Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. Obi's kindness and sincerity won Chisom's heart, and they soon fell in love. Their wedding day was a beautiful and joyous occasion, celebrated by the entire village. Chisom's past was way behind her, and she looked forward to a bright and happy future with Obi. On the other hand, Ada and Amadi, banished from Okeoma, wandered into the dense forest surrounding their former home. The shadows of the towering trees and eerie silence mirrored the turmoil within their hearts. They had lost everything: their village, their friends, and their future. "We've made a terrible mistake," Ada said, her voice trembling. "What have we gained from this madness?" Amadi, his face etched with regret, replied, "I thought we could be happy together, but now I see our actions were wrong. We've lost everything and everyone." Their days in the forest was marked with constant fear and regrets. Each rustle in the bushes and every distant howl of a wild animal reminded them of their isolation and enormity of their betrayal. Nights were the worst, as they lay on the hard ground, staring up at the canopy, the weight of their guilt pressing down on them. The story of Chisom, Amadi, and Ada became a cautionary tale in the village, a reminder of the dangers of deceit and betrayal. But it also served as a testament of the power of love and resilience. Chisom's strength and courage inspired everyone, and she lived happily ever after with Obi, her true love. The village of Okeoma continued to thrive, its people united by the lessons learned from Chisom's ordeal. They cherished their bonds and looked out for one another, ensuring that no one ever felt alone or betrayed. Elder Okeke, reflecting on the events, said to the villagers during the gathering, "Let this story remind us that trust and honesty are the foundation of any strong community. We must always be vigilant, but also compassionate. Together, we can overcome any challenge." The villagers nodded in agreement, their hearts filled with gratitude for the strength and unity that had seen them through such a difficult time. Chisom and Obi's love story became a symbol of hope and resilience, inspiring generations to come. Their children grew up hearing the tale of their parents' courage and the village's unwavering support. And so, the village of Okeoma remained a beacon of love, trust, and unity, a place where people looked out for one another and cherished the bonds that held them together.